Self-development is such a broad subject. And a lot of people think that it's just about going to the gym consistently or reading a book about self improvement or like prioritizing your sleep schedule. But I think deep down that it's not just that. To follow the path of self development and in order to become the best version of yourself, because the ultimate goal of someone who's wanting to pursue self development is actually to become the best version of themselves. Well, then you can refer to a few laws. I think that self development can be split in five principal laws, and I'll break them down for you. Today, I want to share with you the five laws that really shaped my growth and also are currently shaping my growth the more I go on with my project of self development, actually. And the first one of these laws is actually awareness. Because most people think that maybe they have a problem, they know deep down that they have a problem, they're not willing to admit it. I think that in order to solve any problem, you have to say, okay, what's happening, what's going wrong, why I'm not able to actually do this, why I'm not succeeding in this. So you really have to ask yourself, what's wrong with my behavior, my actions, what can be fixed? This is what I refer to as awareness. Awareness is very important in a lot of fields of our life, and in self-development is one of those. You're really gonna be aware why you're doing some things, why you're behaving in a certain type of way. You really have to down inside yourself and find the real reasons why you're doing things. If, for example, you're implementing every day in your life a behavior that you want to change, that you want to enhance, that you want to get rid of, you have to first understand why you're behaving that way. What led you to that behavior? Maybe, for example, you're behaving in a certain type of way because you had some traumas. For example, when you were a child, you have some patterns that are like deep down in your subconscious mind, and you gotta rewire your nervous system concerning that pattern, that trauma, that experience that you had. This now links to therapy, because a lot of people who are, let's say, maybe they're facing some problems in their life, but they're like refusing to go to therapy because they say, oh well, I don't need that, and this kind of stuff. But I think that's such a not smart thing, because therapy is a tool that can help you a lot, because it can really make you understand more about yourself, more about your subconscious mind, because of course we're not always able to actually access our subconscious, because if we were able to always access it, then it will not be our subconscious mind. Like, the meaning of the name subconscious is that actually it's below our conscience, so we're not always able to actually access it. Therapy could help in finding awareness and understanding why you're behaving in a certain way. And I think that in order to fix something, in order to find a solution for any type of problem, you really have to say, okay, well, first of all, let's admit that I have a problem, okay? For example, say that you have a friend who is not behaving well towards you, who is kind of mistreating you, but you keep on accepting that behavior. You know that you don't feel at ease, you're stuck, and you cannot do anything about it. You cannot make people respect you. Why? It's because you still didn't get real awareness. You didn't tell yourself, I have this problem, this is a problem, I have to fix it. So you're maybe saying, well, maybe they're going through a bad moment, they're not angry with me, it's just their way of acting, their way of treating other people. But let's say that maybe it's just you letting them treat you that way, because people treat you how you show them you can be treated. To fix this whole pattern, start by admitting there is a problem. It doesn't have to be like that big problem, but there is a problem. So you want to make sure that you work on it, and the first step of actually working on it is admitting that you have it. The second law of self development is consistency. I think this is one of the most important laws. Consistency goes beyond motivation. When you have a goal, well, you are really happy about the fact that you have this new goal. You're really, let's say, excited of this goal that you have. So you're willing to work hard and show up things. But if results don't show up as you wish, or for example, if these results, yeah, they show up, but maybe they're showing up kind of slowly, which is like actually it's normal progress because guys, no one built in one day. If you have a big goal, that's even more normal. Consistency makes you do the thing that you don't feel like doing, and doing them anyways, doing them also in the moment that you don't feel like doing them, when you don't want to do them. Because when you have motivation, it's easy to stand up and do something. But when you don't have motivation, consistency shows up. If you were born as a consistent person, you're very lucky. For example, I'm very consistent. For me, there's no other option. I can be tired, full of energy, we as women go through different phases of our menstrual cycle. My energy is not always the same. I was speaking about this with my boyfriend. I just finished my period and I don't feel like working out. But I showed up, I went to the gym because there's no other option. Convince yourself, make this like a law for yourself. There's no other option. You gotta do what you gotta do. If you wanna get fit, you have to do what you gotta do. If you wanna lose weight, follow the diet. Of course, there might be days, moments when you don't feel like it, and it's okay to indulge sometimes. For example, if you're craving for something specific, but most of the days you stick to that plan and think, I have no other option. When you start thinking this way, it becomes easier because you're like, it's like that you're forcing yourself to do that thing also when you don't feel like that. Because when we are like kids, we have our parents, our teachers, so they tell us what to do this, do that, and we just have to execute that. But the more you grow up, the less this patterns shows up in your lives. You have to understand no one's running instead of you, and if you want to reach something, whatever thing that might be, you have to be consistent, show up for yourself every day. For example, if you want to do a business, if you want to start a business, I'm starting a new business right now, and every day I have to work for that. Every day I have to show up day by day, and like I already have so many things to do, like literally I have so many things to do because I have already my own job. I'm starting this new, guys, that like I work as a model. Now I'm starting this new business. I'm studying for my second master. This will be like my third degree. Plus I have two sports. I go horseback riding, my biggest passion, and I go to the gym twice a week. I really have to be consistent with all of these things. Also, in order to be able to actually managing all of these things, I have to be consistent. There's no other way. I have to focus on the fact that I have to build my life, my lifestyle every single day. If I say, okay, well, let me rest, let me do nothing for one entire week, then I will be so overwhelmed by the greatness of all the things that I have to do. It's not stressful, it's just impossible. I have to convince myself to show up every day, and I try to become 1% better. Today I am 1% better than yesterday, and hopefully tomorrow I'll be 1% better than today. This is should be your mindset. Should be your vision. And guys, now I'd like to tell you about the third law. Third law for me is environment. And what I mean by environment, well, energy that everywhere in our life, in every single thing, we are energy. The city works thanks to energy, and cars go thanks to energy. Cars are built thanks to energy, and everything is built and is working thanks to energy supplies. Energy is really contagious, so be mindful of that. If you surround yourself with the wrong energy, you remain the wrong version of yourself. It's not just that you remain, for example, maybe let's say you're like working towards your goal, but then some relationships in your life change, something like that, and you start to feel like really a wrong energy around you. You'll stop your progress, your growth, because sometimes people say, after I met this person, after this person is in my life, or after I been hired for this job, like I stopped my self growth. I didn't change anything, but it just stopped and stuff like that. It's just because of energy. Energy is powerful and embraces your life totally. So I think that your environment, either it makes you grow and flourish, or it drains you. So it is something that's really, really crucial in your self growth journey. When I started this self development journey of mine, that's like much more serious a few years ago. I really had to distance myself from a lot of people because comfort disrupts growth. And when you're young, this is even easier because a lot of people, when they're young, they're just like interested to actually enjoy life and maybe just party and don't think about the responsibilities that you might have. They're not interested in studying, finding a good job, building a stable and most amazing future for themselves. So you have to flee from that people. You really have to keep yourself at a distance from that people. Or for example, most girls or also most boys, when they're young, they say, well, I like this person maybe because they like that bad boy, bad girl, and they like that wolf vibe, and they don't understand how toxic is that for themselves. Like, really, guys, really, please be aware the partner you choose, the person you spend the most time with, will be the biggest conditionment of your life. A lot of millionaires, like a lot of them, when they get interviewed and the interviewers ask them what was the most important decision of your life, most of them, like guys, really in a lot of interviews, they say, well, the biggest decision of my life and the most important one was for sure my partner, my wife, my husband, and stuff like that. The person you spend the most time with is someone that really will make the difference if either you succeed or you do not succeed in life. And for me, like, I was really trying to find a partner for myself that had my same mentality. Maybe, like, yeah, of course we might not have the exact same interest, we might want to pursue to different type of businesses and stuff like that, but I think that the mindset, the mentality should be the same. I'm happy to have found someone like that, but it was not easy because most young people think everything is so easy. They were spoiled by their parents. I never had parents, so I had to learn the difficult way very young, and of course this is not a good thing for myself. It could have been a bit easier, but whatever. So I think that it's crucial also because maybe it's not the first time that you heard you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So you really have to be mindful about who those 5 people are. When I started thinking about this, I remember that I used to have like a few more friends than the ones that I have today. And I started saying, well, yeah, it's nice to hang out, party, go to dinner, and do things with them and like share experiences. But the values, like, what are we sharing actually? What's the energy that we're sharing? What is in common between us, between our brains, between our personality and our like life goals? Were nothing. So why am I friend with them? Like, I know that their behavior and their words were dangerous because they could have conditioned me. But thankfully, I never changed my mind and I just decided to distanciate myself from that without any hate, any grief, anything like that. I just said, well, like, we don't match. Our energy is not aligned. Our life path are not aligned. So let's just like go for our own road and let's follow our own path. And yeah, I was really happy, no regrets about that. But it's something you have to do. Also, if you had long term friendships with people with whom you became friends when you were like super young at school, let's say, maybe, and then the more you grow up, you start to understand that these people don't match with you anymore, and you have to be happy about it. Of course, it's not the happiest thing. It might be sad, actually. It might be really sad because you've shared moments, you've shared memories, and you shared a lot of time with that person. But you really have to be happy about the fact that, like, you're evolving, you're constantly changing, you're not stuck at the same point in your life. This should be a treasure for yourself. And it is okay. Like, you guys were not meant to be together for your whole life. There's nothing bad about that. You fulfilled your purpose in that person's life. Same, that person did with you. So it is okay. It's just everyone will go for its own road and for its own path, and so no regrets. That's This should be clear for everyone. Understanding this could save you from so much drama. We are here to elevate ourselves, how to become better, how to enhance our life. We're not here for the drama. We're not about that here. Let me break down for you now the third law of self-development and self-growth, which for me is sacrifice. This might be a tough word, but to become the best version of yourself who will reach all of your goals, all of your dreams, well, you have to sacrifice some things. Because always keep in mind that every yes is a no and every no is a yes. When you say yes to some things in your life, you automatically saying no to other things. So, for example, let me think about this in a positive way. You decided tomorrow morning you want to go to the gym, you want to make time for that, because for example you have like your whole entire day jam packed with a lot of appointments, meetings, stuff like that. You have other things to think about. If you want to work out, you can in the morning. Then someone calls you, let's go party tonight, let's go out, let's go drink, let's go do stuff. And you say, well, what shall I do now? You're like, you would like to go out, you would like to see friends party, it's normal, but you decide to prioritize your workout. You decide to prioritize the bigger thing, because becoming someone who's actually able to see the bigger picture. What do I mean by seeing the bigger picture? You see yourself in the future, you're manifesting your future every day. To become the best version of yourself, you have to sacrifice something. You have to prioritize things that will lead you towards that version of yourself. When I was younger, I used to party a lot because I was not at ease spending time at home. I was in a very abusive household. So I used to go out a lot. I was just trying to like escaping from my reality, and like I did not blame myself for that, because it's just the most normal thing that I had to do at the time. So I said that when I was kind of younger, I used to party a lot. But then the more I grew and the more I started pouring, like really pouring my time and my effort into growing my mindset, then I really started understanding what a waste of time it is sometimes to actually go party. What are you doing? Why are you going to the club? To do what? Maybe you want to celebrate something, that's nice, but what are those people celebrating? When I used to party, I was asking myself, what are we celebrating every night? Same place, same music, same people. Nothing changes. It's always the same. Let me not say that word. So, why are we doing this? This is leading us towards what actually? Like, we're here drinking, spending money on alcohol, and tomorrow we'll feel so bad. We'll wake up really late. We'll not be able to do all the things that we want to do. Some people don't have goals, so they're just wasting time. I mean, what's the point? You have to embrace sacrifice to grow. Sometimes you have to sacrifice the things that you really don't want to leave, the things that you really don't want to sacrifice. For example, for me, I decided to focus on my job and grow at a business level, and I had to sacrifice something I really love, which is horses. I used to ride 6 days a week except school. I had to start sacrificing that because I've been working as an international model, so like I'm working abroad also right now. I'm recording this video during a break between shoots. I had to prioritize my job because I have a bigger goal with horse riding. I want to reach big results in the future. So how can I do this? I need stability and money to invest in my sport. So how can I make money? I have to work. It's simple. I just have to sacrifice my time to work more to one day ride, period, and like do nothing else and just trying to become the best athlete possible. So I think was the biggest sacrifice of my life. Now I want to speak about the last law of self-development, which is purpose. I think is the most important. First of all, I'm like sorry for this change of scenery, but I had problems with my camera, so now I'm recording this in the afternoon. Growth without purpose feels really, really empty. And like sometimes you do all these sacrifices, you do all these things that we mentioned, but you don't know why you're doing that. Maybe you're like just influenced by social media, but our society. So you say, well, I'm doing all these things, I'm working hard, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, but why am I doing this? You don't even know why the growth empty. You have to find your purpose, your why, your reason why you're doing all these things inside of yourself. For me, the ultimate purpose is God. I try to be the best version of myself every single day. I try to become better 1% every single day. Thanks to God and for God, because I know that God made me capable of actually reaching my goals, for actually reaching the bigger purpose for my life. So I want to show up for Him every single day. He motivates me every single day. When you know your why, you'll push through anyhow. The how is not important when you have something deep inside that moves you. So that's something you should cherish and work on every day. You know, guys, sometimes we think about people, we say, oh my God, that person has such a big motivation. That person is capable of doing so many things. And like maybe you're just sitting there scrolling on TikTok and like wasting your time. And you say, why these people are able to do what I'm not able to do? Well, it's just because they have this like big purpose, this really deep and strong purpose in their life, and they get, it's like nutrition for them. It's like really what drives them. It's what makes them wake up happy because they know they have one more day where they are actually able to follow their goals and to actually reach them, because your goals, they're already reached because creation is finished, creation is done. So your goals are achieved. It's just a matter of time dividing you from the goal you're going to reach. You have to make sure that the timeline where you experience the reach of your goals, they just collapse. Future you is already happy and living the most fulfilled life after they've reached all their goals. But what do you have to do to reach that state, to become that version of yourself? You just have to keep grinding every day, keep working and finding inside of you the ultimate purpose. If you're not going to find this purpose, you'll not be happy every day to wake up and work for that. The growth will feel empty, your goals will feel empty. So that's really something that I hope you learn how to implement into your life. And now, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know with which of these laws you resonate the most, which law would you like to implement into your routine, into your lifestyle. I wish you the biggest success in your growth journey. And don't forget to like this video, to subscribe to the channel. It is very helpful for me. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!